No. Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Radical Geek live stream. I see that Carrie was here bright and early. Welcome, and that is a nicety that you're willing to make coffee even though it's not something you can partake in. I'm going to actually speed this along and start my coffee, then we'll do our hellos. I'm just going to do the bloom part because my water just came to temperature at 198. And then we'll talk about what it is and get our recipe going. We're doing the French press, so you just put some water enough to wet the grounds and let them expand. So, but what I have here is that my watch has fallen off. Let's fix that. So let's see. I see Carrie's here and Miss Perfectly Imperfect Keto. Hey, good evening. Our awesome moderators, Attila and Air Fry and Auntie. Sharon is here. Good evening. Let's see. And the warden has joined us, just finishing dinner. So what'd you all have? I love that we get to hear about your dinner every Sunday evening. It's so nice. So basically, what I've got blooming here, I decided to do French press because it's very friendly, coffee friendly, and I didn't want to go get my V60 and all of that fun stuff. But it was just in the mood. And this coffee smells amazing. It's on a 3 grind, and it is right now just doing its bloom, which is where you put the water over the grounds so that they can be infused with the water, and it's called blooming, just sort of like you bloom gelatin or all those other things. And I see Hungry Heath is here, as is Gigi. Hey, good to see you guys again. So tonight's coffee is special. It is from a roaster in Bowling Green, Ohio, called Grounds for Thought. Hey, good evening, Visual Keto. Thanks for joining us. You're hustling while folding the laundry. Yeah, the laundry. So that's we wait too long to do our laundry here sometimes, and then we have to do a whole bunch of it on Sundays. But that's all right. Let's see. Oh, and Air Fried Andy's asking about anyone has a good stain remover for hair dye out of carpet. Oh no, I don't. But you know what? I don't know if it would actually do anything or make it worse, but when you get like hair dye on your skin that won't come off, you're supposed to use a good hair conditioner to pull it out. What if you put that conditioner on the carpet and scrubbed it in there real good? Please know I am making shit up as I go, so it could just also be making a greasy mess on your carpet. So high risk. You might maybe Google or wait for someone else to answer who might actually know these things. Anyways, the coffee is grounds for thought, and I see J-Dog has joined us. Hey, I'm so glad to see you. It's been a while. Ooh, ribeyes on the Rectech. Using the smoker for grilling our steaks is often one of our favorites. They come out so tasty. So, ground for thoughts, fresh coffee roaster, and what they have is in Bowling Green, they've got a really nice coffee shop that features live events and all kinds of fun stuff. And in those live events, they also they do a lot of good community things, and they import their coffees. But their roaster is actually a few buildings down, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But now that this has had its time to bloom, so you can see how the beans have gone, and we use our typical 3 grind, but it's also good that it's a little bit chunkier than the 2, because that will help us keep our fines out of our coffee. I'm going to do the plunge method tonight, by the way. So what we're going to do now is actually brew the coffee by pouring our water right onto the grinds. Let's just get that right up there. And we have to give our coffee a stir to agitate, and then also that helps make the fines sink in, a couple each direction. And I don't know if you can see it, it's very warm, but you can see that brings the crema to the top as well. So that's kind of a nice thing about being here. And now we just go ahead and we put our plunger on here to hold the heat in. You bring it down to the surface tension of the liquid and the brew, and we'll just leave that to sit for 4 or 5 minutes. Hey Mike Sandy, good evening. So back to this coffee, and I forgot to ask the lovely person who gave this to me. They actually brought it to our meetup, but I don't know if they want their name said on my live stream or not, so I'm going to err on the side of caution. And if that individual would like to identify themselves, I encourage them to. But I was super excited. You know, how thoughtful is that? I love when people share their local roasters with me, and I get to learn new things about it. This particular blend is called Colombia El Carmelo Caturra, and it smells amazing. Now, El Carmelo is actually a location in the Colombia region where they have high up growing beans. So that's actually a really cool thing about that, is it tells you where they're importing the beans in the name of the coffee. And a Caturra is a special kind of roast. It's a high temperature roast in the steel barrels, so that I definitely keep it rotating the whole time that it is roasting, and that's what helps bring forward that lighter, nuttier, bright acidic taste to the coffee. So there you go. That's our coffee for this evening. Let's ask for more information if you want it, or share what you guys are having tonight. Let's see. Oh yeah, so and J-Dog's explaining that the ribeyes will super smoke at 225 until the internal temp hits 110. Then you remove, kick it up to 500 for 3 minutes, and for each side. Should be delicious. Ah, yes, it will be. So good. Air fried auntie had some stew for lunch, and then put some air fried auntie's the tender Texas spice. So let's see. And Carrie says his jokes are full of paper since they are terrible. Okay, that one is pretty rough. Let's see. Oh, and Miss Perfectly Imperfect had chuck roast. Nice. So, and Rickwin has joined us. Good evening, Rickwin. It's good to see you again. So tonight, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to make some coconut cookies. They are coconut flour. It does have sweetener. I've actually put my sweetener in here. It's 2 tablespoons allulose and 1 tablespoon of Lakanto brown sugar substitute. You can use any brown sugar substitute you want. I went with the Lakanto and the allulose. You could go all erythritol if you wanted to, all monk fruit if you wanted to, but you do need the bulk of a granular sweetener for these cookies. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat my little oven here. Because it's my convection oven, I'm going to do 325. If you are using a traditional regular oven, then you're going to go with 350. Let's see. Oh, M-word hater. Just got home from HEB to get some stuff for dinner. M-word hater. So, and I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm probably going to use that M-word tonight. It will be a necessity. And Carrie said, was writing us that he's still crushing it for his no coffee or caffeine, and I applaud you. I feel like you have really embraced that, and you have made it a lifetime commitment now. So, let's see. All right, so I'm going to turn mine on to bake, and let's see. Turn this. They only are going to need like 10 to 15 minutes, so I'm going to put a little extra. We can keep an eye on them and take them out as needed. And then the temperature, I'm going to turn this down to 325. Boy, I had that too high. There we go. Sorry, I know that turning the oven on is not like the most excited. And air frying Annie, the difference for 325 to 350 is the difference between convection and non-convection. Technically, even though it's toaster oven sized, the Omni Plus is actually, it's a combination between air frying and convection oven. So it's actually the size and shape that makes that change. So I'm going to dive right into this. I'm going to add my coconut flour, and by the way, I'm making a half batch. I put the measurements for a full batch of cookies, so a full sheet, but we do not need that many cookies here. We're not good at controlling ourselves, so we're going to make a reasonable half batch. So I have 25 grams of coconut flour, and when you see how easy these are, that's going to be the best part. The other thing to let you know is these are one of those super soft crumbly cookies. So like if you ever get like the wedding cookies that are like the little soft crumbly cookies that you coat in the cinnamon and sugar, they're that kind of texture. So you know, not your crispy or not your real solid cookie. I think that that's real important to share that information. Oh, it is. Yes, I do see my little dog came in here. But the next thing is butter, and I want you guys to know this butter is like super soft. Like it is on the verge of melted, but not actually melty. So you want to be real careful with that, but you definitely, it needs to be super soft. If it's too solid, you won't be able to mix it together properly. The other thing is it's coconut flour, which is super absorbent. I'm trying, M-word hater. But, so we need an egg, and that will help to, for the coconut to expand and absorb the liquid. You need that for your cookie texture. And we're just going to add everything in right now, and we'll be mixing it together. You've got, I've got a quarter of an eighth of a teaspoon of vanilla. I have the recipe. Maybe, oh, it is a quarter. Regular recipe is a half. Then I'm going to just dump my sweetener right on top. Get my dishes to the sink, so we're cleaning up as we go. And then this ingredient is actually not in the recipe, but I am adding it in anyways, because why would I do something tried and true as opposed to making it up on the fly? I just added a tablespoon of crunched up flaked coconut, which may be a mistake, but I don't care. So we're doing it. There we go. Because I know a lot of people where coconut is not the favorite flavor. I love coconut, and I love to, I just wanted it more coconutty. That's all. And I agree. Now it's time for the discussion. M-word hater, is melty better or worse than the word that I'm going to have to use? The egg brings moisture in. So your coconut flour has to absorb all of that. The other reason that the coconut flour is such a small amount is because of how much it will expand with the moisture. So, let's see. Oh, J-Dog says M is for magic. And hey, exchange student 2, nice to see you. All right, so I have mixed it together. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to don a glove because I don't like cookie dough to get under my fingernails. But we're just going to give it and pull it all together into a quick ball with our hand. We are done at this point. Might have to pause, my air fryer is already up to temperature. And now, the only thing is, if you find that when you are making these cookies that they have come together, it's not coming together or it's too soft to work with, just pop it into the fridge and wait for a few minutes. And let it firm up, because the next part, you need it to be able to hang together. I'm putting my glove on upside down. There we go. I can't put my glove on, you guys. I'm incompetent. There we go. So, got my cookie sheet. And now we're just going to divide this dough up into equal pieces. And like I said, they are that soft sort of dough, so equal pieces. Let's make 6 cookies out of this. So we're going to divide this into thirds. 1. And they're smaller cookies. They're not giant cookies, because then they will just crumble apart. And I don't want that to be a bad thing. That's what these soft, melty cookies are like. So we just pat them into a soft little cookie disc. We'll set them here. And I'm just going to pat these out real quick. That one maybe could have been smoother, but I don't care. And we're almost to coffee time, which I'm thrilled about. So I know about J-Dog's ribeyes. Let's see. And I see that he also stopped at Harbor Freight. They had nitro gloves for $9.99 for 100 gloves. They had extra, extra large for his big hands. Nice. I usually have trouble finding the smalls, which is what I need. And like these are a little loose, but it's okay. So, and I see that Air Frying Andy is asking if I could drizzle or dip in melted chocolate. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't see why not, but I don't know that I would enjoy that flavor, which is weird because coconut and chocolate tends to go together. My little crumbs so that they don't burn. Just tuck it onto that cookie that was not perfect. All right. So we have our cookies. And you see they just go onto the little tray, and it's so easy. Now they're just going to go in there to bake. We'll keep an eye on them. They shouldn't need, maybe 10 to 12 minutes tops, maybe a little less. So, especially this first small one. There we go. I had some trouble putting my tray in there for no reason whatsoever. All right, let's make some coffee. Am I right? So I'm just going to slowly plunge it. You don't want to speed through when you're French pressing your coffee, because you don't want to accidentally shove fines up through the sieve. So let me see. So, and Air Frying Annie is saying she would do a dark chocolate with coconut a la Mounds. I don't know. It's just not my favorite. But that's because I don't know. I'm weird about chocolate on cookies. I don't know why. This has never been a thing that I enjoyed as much as most people do. But I do like chocolate in other applications, so go figure. I don't know. In fact, I actually liked mountains when they were a thing that we ate. So anyway, so there we go. And you don't want to squish down. You just want to come to the top of your grounds. You're not trying to squeeze the life out of your grounds and extract every little bit, because if you do that, what's going to happen is you will cause things to get bitter from over extracting. You're just resting it there, and there is our coffee. You know, this would be a lot easier if I put my beaker back into the handle like I was supposed to. So now you can see how the French press comes apart for me. Carrie says he gave up chocolate when he gave up coffee. Yeah, well, yes, because the chocolate has the caffeine in it. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm using my fancy wine goblet for my water tonight. It's been a while. We've been just drinking out of the regular glass, and I was like, I have had a rough week. I want to be fancy, so. I did not get my new bike this weekend. We had a little delay. It's actually going to be next weekend. Also, after I hurt my ear, now it's a little bit infected, and so periodically it hurts, and so I'm extra annoyed by that. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, Carrie said he's noted that just like everything else, the price of gloves, which used to be very cheap, have certainly gone up in price. And Sharon says that U.S. Safety Works has the small nitrile gloves. It just requires more thinking than or more planning ahead. A lot of times, so Costco has them sometimes. What happens, like I periodically go and they have the one size fits all, which, you know, doesn't. But so 50-50. Oh, and Rickwin is asking what happened to Air Frying Auntie yesterday. Yes, tell us about this, Air Frying Auntie. I think it would be good. You should definitely tell us. Oh, she did. Okay, she mentioned that she had a kitchen calamity from the mini ding dong cake that she made. Ooh, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And then she learned how to put it onto YouTube unlisted, so she can send us the video by request. And Hungry He says he was surprised I did not add erythritol to the cookie batter. I did, though, because the Locanto brown sugar substitute is erythritol based. But again, because I am not in a dither or in a panic about erythritol, because I am not a 70-year-old man with diabetes and previous strokes and heart attacks, and it wasn't necessarily, and we don't know if their bodies were just making too much erythritol or if they were ingesting it. So I will continue to be using erythritol in my baking. And now let's pour my coffee, and then we can chat some more. It seems like usually we don't get to chat this much because we are, I'm busy doing things, but everything tonight was super, super easy. And because it's a local roaster, I don't have like world history lesson planned because it's been an insane kind of week. I didn't like do a deep dive for you guys. Sometimes I try to read ahead of that. I just didn't. So pleasant, but we're gonna have to have some conversation. And Air Frying Annie says that she's been asked many times to start a channel, which I agree we would love to see because you always have such amazing stuff. So, and so far, Air Frying Annie says she's got about 2.5 minutes. So I think your videos will be fine. Oh, and a whole bunch of other snippets. That'll be awesome. So. And Mrs. Perfectly Imperfect Keto says that she is also one of the people motivating Air Frying Auntie. So we all love Air Frying Auntie, don't we? I think so. So I wanted to talk a little bit about stuff. Let's see. Oh, Carrie says he knows the Colombian coffee is usually grown near volcanoes for the flavor it makes. Yes, that's also true facts. And Rickwin says he wonders if the body was making more erythritol because of all the medications that these old men were taking. There's so many questions. I agree. I would love, I'm glad that that study actually said they recommend more research, because I really think more research, that would be, you know, one of the studies that they should do is find out if there were medication reactions causing the endogenous erythritol versus the exogenous. Uh, there were, that study was just, it just wasn't the right study. Hey, good evening, Mike. Nice to see you. Wow, there's someone we never see. How exciting. So I've already been cooking and I already have my coffee. You're late, so now tell us what you had for your meals today. And Edward Hader has subscribed to Air Frying Auntie's things. Awesome. Oh yeah, and Carrie says one of his favorite coffees was made in Guatemala. They do have wonderful coffee as well. Yes, Guatemalan Antigua coffee is one of my favorites. We have a roaster here in Ohio called Odyssey Coffee that imports their coffee from Guatemala for a Guatemalan Antigua roast, and oh my word, it is spectacular. Hey, good evening, Susie. So I'm going to take a moment and just take a look at how these are coming along. Even though it's only been a few minutes, I know sometimes you never know. Let's see. Oh, yes. So now that this coffee has been put into my repertoire, I believe I will be acquiring more. It is very, very, very smooth. That is a super nice thing. So let me double check these cookies real quick. They are getting browned on the bottom really nicely, and just a little bit around the edges. Just a couple more minutes and they will be done. How about that, you guys? We're going to be done in like record time. Let's see. And when Rickman is saying there's a lot of research in nutrition, not many people are talking about it. It changes a lot of things that should affect how they do diets in hospitals someday. Yes. I was talking to someone about Verta Health, Dr. Volek's clinic that's in California that partners with his OSU Research Center here in Columbus, Ohio. The research is amazing. If you go out on Verta Health and read through the case studies, they have been deep in the weeds. And honestly, I do believe that if his clinic ever gets the attention that it should get, he could really make a lot of forward motion towards revising healthcare in the United States, which, as we all know, desperately needs done. Let's see. Oh, Mike says he had keto chow for breakfast and leftover pork ribs for lunch. Gonna take a nap soon because he needs sleep. I feel that, man. I have been running tired all day, which I don't really understand because yesterday I had things to do, but it was not that much. Everything was more or less fine, but we went out Friday night to a party with friends, and you know, I don't know, I'm used to my going to bed early and getting up early, I guess, because we were home like right after midnight, and yet I'm still today recovering, as if I had been out last night on like a 3-day tequila blend, you know, just returning from a 3-day tequila bender. But mostly I just needed to relax. I had some intense conversations with other people about some stuff going on with just like some problem resolution and things, so that might have been part of it too. Those are always tough when you have to have hard conversations and work through issues. So let's see. And Sharon says she's not laughing, so that's good. I'm going to look forward to subscribing to Air Frying Auntie after here. So let's see. But Air Frying Auntie says that after her craft group, they were laughing. You know, I love when funny things happen on my stream here. Carrie says he didn't get home until 1:30 last night, and he only slept until 3. I can't. Oh, that was exchange student 2. Oh, exchange student 2 went to Chicago for a concert last night. Ooh, which concert? That sounds exciting. But 1:30 until 3, that is not enough sleep. I hope that you get to bed after the live stream and can sleep for the night. Whew. That would kill me for days. Oh, and Mike's asking if this is an air fryer behind me, which, oh, the cookies, you guys, see? Look at that. They are looking good. So, here you go. Look how they puffed up. They're super soft. They're super hot, so I'm going to drop that down. I'm going to pull the parchment off onto the counter so they can cool down, so that I can actually eat one of them. But you can see they get dark and coconutty, toasted on the around the edges, hot. I'm going to stop picking up the hot cookies right out of the oven. So there we go. Now that you asked, so that is the Instapot Omni Plus. So the Instapot Omni Plus is an air fryer, toaster oven, convection, you know, it's one of those everything kind of devices. It does not have sous vide like the Innova, but it also does not have the Innova price tag. I believe they no longer make the Omni Plus. They have now switched over completely to the Vortex, but the Vortex Plus also has all those nice features. It also has a rotisserie attachment, which I love. Might have to pick up, now that I've said it, I might have to pick up a chicken. They smell real nice and buttery. That's what I really enjoy about it. So they're soft. Let me break one open. Oh, steamy. All right, I'll bring it up to the camera so you can see. They're very cakey. Let's see. There we go. So you can see the cookie texture. And of course they did get brown on the bottom like they're supposed to. They are cookies after all. So, and they smell delightful. They're still too hot for me to eat, which is killing me because my coffee's right here. And Miss Perfectly Imperfect Keto says they remind her of shortbread cookies. Similar. They are just a smidge more cakey than shortbread. But yeah, that's also a thought for me. A thought of that. That is a kind of thing that I was thinking about. So they are quite buttery and quite coconutty. Now that I'm thinking about it, they probably would be good with the chocolate. I'm just stubborn and don't want it. Okay. And J-Dog's asking about the ingredients and if I will load in the show notes. So that is in the description already, but I will repeat. It is coconut flour, egg, butter, sweetener, and a little dash of vanilla. I think that's everything. So yeah, they are in the video notes. So let's see. Oh, and I will tell you that if you use all erythritol or all of the monk fruit erythritol granular blend, they come out crispier. The allulose makes them more cakey. So that can be your preference. It's a pretty flexible sort of cookie. I love coconut. They're very subtle. They're very, Actually, you know what it reminds me of in flavor? If you ever tried to make that Keto Chow pineapple pound cake, that, what was it? Pina colada pound cake, I think it was. It was with the pina colada Keto Chow. It's very reminiscent of that flavor, which of course, because it's high on the coconut. And Carrie says the cookies look so good that they definitely taste good because he was able to swipe one through the computer screen. Nice try. I don't think so. And J-Dog says we'll have to try them because Patty also likes coconut. Yes. Yeah, like I said, if you want them to be more crumbly cookie, use more erythritol and not the allulose. And if you want them to be more soft and cakey, use the allulose and just a little bit of the brown sugar substitute for touching up the flavor a bit. Hey, good evening, Brenda. Nice to see you again. So also, I'm going to bring this up. There is another Keto Ohio meetup coming up on March 25th. Dawn Does Keto is the primary for that. So I know she has a few seats left, but not many. So if you aren't signed up for it and you want to attend, make sure you send an email to dondoesketo@gmail.com. It's actually going to be in the greater Columbus area at one of the Smoky Bones, which I was excited because I thought Smoky Bones went out of business, but evidently they did not. So now we can have some steak. Oh, and Renee says she's finally plucked her lone ripe Carolina Reaper and a fiery red Serrano to go in tonight's recipe. Ooh, what are you making? What is the recipe? Ooh, and Hungry says he wants to try making a batch of cookies in the smoker. I have to think about that. You know what? I like smoked things a lot. I have to think about that. Maybe something with a caramel bent to it. I don't know. That sounds like a tall order. I don't know. Oh, maybe like a caramel toffee type of cookie? That might go well with the smoke, but I feel like the smoker smoke might be too intense for actual cookie. And a smoked cookie might be better off done with like a tabletop smoker, the kind where you have the glass dome and you shoot the smoke in. So it's just getting that light essence. I'm not sure though. It's definitely worth trying. Oh, and Rickwin says that we already made cookies in the smoker, meat cookies. Fair about that. Oh, and then Hungry Heat said no, that we're looking for sweet cookies, not savory ones. And J-Dog is saying thoughts on cream cheese and as an additional add-in for the cookies. For these cookies, I don't know. I think the cream cheese might be too much. Or add a little more coconut flour to account for the cream cheese, because it will need to also absorb and solidify. I'm not sure. I just keep thinking I'm not sure on the flavor profile, but if you don't put the coconut flakes in there, then the cream cheese and then with the cream cheese add a little bit of like a lemon or something to it. I don't know. Now I'm curious and I want to try that. Let's see. Oh, well, color me surprised. Mrs. Perfectly Imperfect Keto says her neighbor does chocolate chip cookies on their Traeger. And Rickwin is wondering if we could substitute cream cheese instead of butter. I don't think that cream cheese has enough fluid in it, whereas butter, you could use coconut oil. Coconut oil would be pretty good. In fact, actually, now I wish I had used coconut oil. But because cream cheese doesn't have as much moisture as butter, I think you couldn't do a one-for-one swap, which is why I said it would be better to add more of the add the cream cheese and the regular fat, and then bump up the amount of coconut flour that you use to work with it. And J-Dog says, ooh, coconut, lemon, or lime would be good. Yeah, lime in the coconut. You know, they made a whole song about that. And Mike Sandy said we could add a small amount of liquid smoke. Oh, no. So I think liquid smoke is too tart for cookies. Liquid smoke is one of those questionable ingredients. It's really a harsh flavor, I feel like. I know that it's supposed to be smoke flavor, and it does, but it's like, to me, it gets like that flavor of bitter when something is over smoked. So I think that if you put it in a cookie, then the cookie would also get that bitter tone to it. Whereas if you are putting liquid smoke into a sausage that you're going to dry out indoors as opposed to in a smoker, then that's where the meat can stand up to the acidity of the liquid smoke. And Hungry He says he uses a pellet smoker, so he wouldn't think that the smoke flavor would be too overpowering. I think it's worth a try, and now you know to try with chocolate chip cookies. So, but oh, and Hungry He says that that's why he started making pulled pork in the Instant Pot, because there's not much smoke flavor from his Traeger, and it's cheaper. Oh, see, my smoker is really well flavored, and if I ever want extra smoke flavor, I just throw in a smoke tube beside it. So, and Brenda says you could use Redmond. Yeah, actually, smoked salt on top of a toffee cookie or a cookie with a caramel drizzle, that would be great. And J-Dog says that he also thinks liquid smoke can impart an off flavor. Yeah, so we get really bougie about our smoke flavors around here, I guess. That's what we're saying. And Mike says that he uses liquid smoke in Kahlua pork made in an Instant Pot, and that's about the only thing he uses it for. Yeah, so yeah, but yeah, a very small amount of liquid smoke goes a long way. So yeah, I could see how that would work, because I like that Kahlua pork recipe myself. In fact, next time I'm grocery shopping, I feel like that could be on my list of meats to buy. I have pork chops in the freezer. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to look and see which days this week are not heavy rain, which are not a lot of them. Get out there and maybe I'll smoke a bunch of pork chops for next week. We've got kielbasas in the fridge and some lunch meats, so Oh, Miss Perfectly Imperfect Keto, that sounds genius. Is suggesting that we could do caramel chips with the smoked salt, so it'd be like a smoked salted caramel cookie. Ooh, I'm fast being sold on this, Hungry Heath. Get on this cookie making. I am ready for it. I officially throw it in my request for smoked cookies for a Friday night feast. So, And Hungry Heath is saying it would be great if we all lived closer so that we could cook. But guess what? If I ever jump and make my transition to fully using StreamYard, we can totally co-cook, because we can guest on each other's live streams and hook it up. So when it's summer, we can definitely do that. I mean, I guess we could do it winter too, but I'm not excited to be out there. I only go out there and cook because I have to cook, and it's not the same joy as when it's nice. Oh, Carrie, your jokes kill me. He says we'll have to figure out how to roll the pork into the papers to smoke them. Oh dear. Let's see. And M-Word Hater says white fat or brown fat? I missed something. Oh, and M-Word Hater said they just made a fresh ground pork panko. So yep. So that's now you have me wondering, maybe we should be smoking our pork panko, and then, yeah, I don't know. Put me in, Coach. Oh, Hungry, you're also hilarious tonight. You guys are off the cuff. Let's see. So, oh, okay, that makes more sense now. I knew I missed something because Rickwin has now provided enough context. I missed part of it. So now he mentions it's because your body has two types of fat, white and brown. Brown is used for energy and white is visceral, and that's the jiggly stuff. That's actually super cool. I actually didn't know that. I feel like I've probably read it before, and especially talking with fitness people, and also while I've been in school pursuing some of my fitness things, but I did not retain it. But because it sounds familiar, I feel like now you have reinforced lessons that I should have kept. So thank you, Rickwin. Very, very nice. And Ms. Perfectly Imperfect Keto says, if Heath builds the village, we'll come to it. I believe that's what we've been doing. So, pretty cool. What else we got going on tonight? What activities do people got going on? You know, it's hitting springtime. The next thing I have, though, because I'm going to have an avalanche of work tasks coming down for both my regular job and for OhioCon, I've got a little reprieve here so that I can focus on those. I believe next weekend on Friday evening, I'm going out because one of my favorite people in the whole wide world is coming to town to do a quick little presentation. So I'm going to head on out to that and make sure that I get to give her one gigantic squeezy hug at least. But that's the only thing that's on my calendar. And I'm going to work hard to try and keep that as the only thing on my calendar. Then all the way to we jump to all the way to the 25th when I'm going to the Keto Ohio meetup. And also then later that evening, there's a board game night. Heath's next event is KetoCon. Yep. And just to keep you guys on your toes, then for me, so we've got that's March. Board game nights, a presentation of some history, the Keto Ohio meetup. Then April, I have a Buckeye Game Fest. In May is Marcon. April, May. And then June is chock full of events. So June has Origins Game Fair, and of course it's Pride Month. So every weekend in June there are parades all around the state and lots of activities, planning, advocacy, people visiting here, I'm going there, all kinds of stuff. June is always a huge plethora of events. And then we hit July and we're like, phew, except for we have a big July 4th picnic because July 4th is my birthday. And then we jump right into August, which overlaps Gen Con and Peltonia. So I will actively be at Gen Con during Peltonia, but I will be doing all of the cancer fundraising, and I will ride all of the promised miles 100%. I will do it. Just may not be as part of the group ride. So, but I am joining a team, actually another team, Matsuricon, which is very, you know, it's another anime gaming fun con here in Columbus. So, and that follows up right after Gen Con. So like the whole month is just like from June to August, it is slammed. So good stuff. And then we hit September, and there's something in September, and I don't remember what it is, but at the end of September, we ride right into October for Keto Palooza. So the year is very busy. So you should let me know what events that you guys are going to so that maybe I can meet up. And Brenda says she's heading home from Cleveland State, and she saw that there was a gaming convention in Toledo today. That's awesome. Toledo has some cool stuff going on, but I never seem to make it over there. Oh, Susie is planning a new watercolor project and started sprint training, and will add jump training to that. Wow, that sounds cool. I don't know anything about watercolors, so I am infinitely fascinated by people who have that talent. It seems extremely challenging to me, so kudos to you for that. That is amazing. Let's see. And Ms. Perfectly Imperfect Keto says that in the medical world, things change so often. Very true. Trying to be polite, but I'm eating cookies because it is delicious. So, with that said, coffee. And Ms. Perfectly Imperfect Keto is asking about who's going to Keto Orlando Summit. I would like to, but I can't remember, but I believe it conflicts with something else that I'm doing. And I think I left it off of that list, but for the life of me, I cannot remember. But I just remember thinking about it and remembering that no matter what I did, there was no way I could work out going to Orlando. And J-Dog says his problem with cookies is that he would eat them all. That is exactly the problem, and why I made a half batch, because by the time other people get into the cookies, I personally cannot eat them all, but I might eat 2 of them tonight and then force myself to refrigerate 1 for tomorrow, and the other 3 will probably disappear in very short order. But then they're gone. They're gone, and we won't make more for a very long time. I will also say that I'm a little bit hungry now because I don't know. I don't know what happened. I wasn't hungry earlier, and I ate a little bit of food, and then I had a little bit more, and I was like, okay, basically I'm done. But then right before the live stream, I was like, wow, I'm super hungry. So now I'm super hungry, and I'm eating a cookie, and I'm finding that infinitely not satisfying enough. I did right before the live stream grab one of my little pucks of the keto brick, but that definitely, it was good, and it was a little satisfying, but it was like just enough to start whetting the appetite that I was already developing. So now I'm like, dang it, because I don't like having a big meal this close to bedtime for me. I find that it makes me feel slightly groggier in the morning. I don't know. And then I get up a lot at night, which I don't know. I'm just not a night eater. Oh, and Hunger Heath is reminding everybody that there's the meetup at the Parker Palace Friday before the low carb cruise. That's another thing I wish I could go to, but I just can't work out the dollars and the vacation time because I chose Nerd Things because I'm a big nerd. So Nerd Things it is. And Exchange Student 2 is suggesting make some eggs. Yeah, that's probably on my short list. And Brenda says she's having a keto brick puck right now. Ah, J-Dog's hangry. Just pulled the steaks at 110 and kicking the smoker to 500 and letting the steaks rest. Should be done, so he's off. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Yeah, you too, J-Dog. Enjoy them steaks. They sound amazing. I will say we went to Texas Roadhouse yesterday. I posted a picture of that out. Oh man, it was good. I don't know, my prime rib was just right. So, you know, when everything is just right. They didn't exactly do the broccoli. I asked them to put the broccoli on the plate, but instead they cooked the broccoli and the cheese in the bowl, and then they put the bowl on a plate. Which, I mean, they usually put the bowl on a plate, but I don't think they quite grasped. I don't know. There was a loss in the translation of, like, you know, spread it out on the plate. So, but that's all right. It was still really, really tasty. Then they brought the loaded part, you know, the sour cream and the butter and the bacon in little teeny cups on another plate. So, I don't know. For some reason, it's a challenge, but everybody, every time we order it, everybody goes like, whoa, genius. This is a great way to make broccoli tasty. We should put this on our menu. So, hey, Texas Roadhouse, someday maybe you should put loaded broccoli on your menu. It seems to be real popular. So let's see. And Carrie mentions, have a great and cheesy night, J-Dog. So, I'm a little bit excited. I have a special cheese for you guys for next Cheese Friday. I'm making it. So, it'll be a fun lesson for us. And, let's see. Now I have eggs on my mind. You know what? I have more frittata. That's what I ate this morning. I ate some frittata too. Oh, I also have sausages. See, when I did my meal prep, I had frittata and I made link sausages. It's supposed to be for my meal 1 during the rest of the week, so I can have a good breakfast. But those sausages are tempting me. I might heat up some sausages and then fry off a couple eggs. That sounded mighty tasty. Exchange Student 2, don't be jealous of the cookies because they were super easy, and when you watch the replay, you'll see that you could throw them together. They take minutes. Oh, Exchange Student 2 says they didn't see Cheese Friday this week. What? Oh no. Yeah, I did. Wait, yeah, there was. It was a Iberico cheese with bacon jam. I was like, oh no, maybe it didn't post again because I've had a couple of weeks where that didn't happen right. But yeah, it was the Iberico cheese with bacon jam, so it should be there. I'll add the link to it in a comment. Oh, and Lisa's been meal prepping. What are you meal prepping for this week? And Rickwin had scrambled eggs for supper tonight. Seem to be eating them a lot for supper. You know what? Scrambled eggs are very comforting to me. I like them with a lot of butter on top of them, kind of like melting in. I think it's because when we were able to make some butter when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money. Oh, and Carrie says it didn't post. This is so weird because I swear I had people comment on the bacon jam. Maybe. All right. Well, thank you guys for telling me that. I will make sure it gets put back up. That is very odd. All right. Very, very strange. All right. I will follow up then and take a look at that. And what I will do is I will post it up. All right, well, thank you for that, for the hands up. I will see what happened to it. I'm having a lot of trouble. YouTube is being really difficult with me lately. Maybe I'll have to make a help ticket and see what's happening to my stuff. Maybe it got tagged. Sometimes that happens too. Somebody reports it, and then it takes them a couple days to be like, oh no, that was just someone being a jerk. You're all good. Okay, and Airfryer Nanny says she saw the bacon jam on Facebook, but doesn't see my YouTube video. Okay, well, who knows? I'll check on it, and I will make sure it gets up. It'll probably go tomorrow morning, and so, gosh, now I have to wonder. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I'll figure something out, you guys. I'll probably just wait till morning, though, because I am kind of mentally worn down tonight. Something weird. Oh, and Lisa says she's buying an onion so she can make that jam. Nice. Yeah, it's really nice. Susie said this weekend she made oxtail and a meatloaf with Parmesan crisp crumbs, bacon, beef heart, and ground beef. Ooh, that sounds great. I love oxtails. And so does Lisa. Brenda says all that cheese and coffee needs censoring. And sometimes they do. Honestly, I don't know what it is when people report it, because it does sometimes after the fact. When I do like this discovery is when they'll ping me and say like, oh, that was reported. It should come when the incident happens, and there's nothing saying that that's what happened. It could just be a weird tech thing. You never know. So, but yeah, it sounds really good, Susie. Now I want to go buy oxtails at the market. I'm highly susceptible to like everything right now because I'm hungry. Let's see. Renee says she still has more of the H&S pumpkin sausage soup in her freezer. Ooh. Man, I love that soup. That's another thing I haven't made in a long time, but I don't know. I'm definitely in the mood for just like something simpler. So the couple fried eggs and sausages are sounding really good. But also now that it's in my head, the scrambled eggs with butter also sounds really good. Exchange Student 2 says she might be under eating because she's been experimenting with the carnivore, but her tummy's feeling good. Hey, take your wins. You can work back up and reverse into eating a larger amount that if you need to. Easy enough, but solving your gastrointestinal issues is really super golden. Oh, and Carrie is making good puns for me, saying I was being a monster with the cheese on YouTube. Yep. And Brenda's also agreeing. Oxtails, delicious. So, I know it's like 2 minutes early, but I am practically salivating thinking of my scrambled eggs and butter now. Look at that. You switched my mind, Rickwin. I'm going to have to go make some. I'm going to go and I'm going to head off and I'm going to make my scrambled eggs, finish them up with my coffee, and call it a good night. But I really enjoyed seeing everyone. I hope that you guys get to try some nice soft cookies. And let me know what other questions you have, and we will catch everybody later. You guys have an amazing evening, and I look forward to seeing what you guys are up to throughout the week. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you leave some comments. I promise you I will resolve the Cheese Friday. And that's it. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.